Welcome, brave souls, to Fear File Chronicles, your one-way ticket to spine-chilling stories and terrifying tales. Tonight, we'll be diving into the darkest corners of the human mind with a story. People keep committing suicide at my local train station, penned by the twisted mind of a talented yet sadly unknown author. Together, we'll explore the unexplained and face our deepest fears. But before we begin, if you enjoy trembling and terror, be sure to hit that like button, share this video with your fellow fear fanatics, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click the bell notification so you never miss an eerie episode. Your support truly means the world to us, so feel free to leave a comment below to join the Fear File Chronicles community. Now, without further ado, let's unravel the mysteries of the unknown together. As we delve into tonight's fear-inducing story, people keep committing suicide at my local train station. Dim the lights and prepare yourself for a chilling journey into the Fear File Chronicles. Summers often left me restless and bored. Longing for intellectual stimulation, I enrolled in a microeconomics course at a nearby university last year. I resided in a quaint, distant town, necessitating a half-hour train commute to and from the university. These trains, notorious for their tardiness, compelled me to kill time by perusing discarded newspapers strewn about the station. But it was during the second week of my commute that the monotony shattered, utterly and horrifyingly. On an otherwise unremarkable Monday morning, I found myself on a near-deserted platform. A few irritable souls waited alongside me, resigned to the ritual of their workday commutes. Then he appeared, a man, impeccably dressed in a business suit, carrying a briefcase. For an inexplicable moment, our eyes met. His were an unnerving shade of black that sent a chill down my spine. He smiled, and although disconcerted, I returned the gesture before refocusing on my newspaper. But then, a guttural scream ruptured the air. The man had flung himself onto the tracks. Despite desperate pleas from bystanders, he remained immovable. A minute later, the tardy train arrived, extinguishing his life. The incident haunted the local headlines the following day. Though profoundly shaken, my morbid curiosity was, in some twisted way, satiated. 3 weeks later, the horrifying spectacle repeated itself. On the final day of my microeconomics course, I was standing by a vending machine when a frantic mother with a stroller took the fatal plunge. The irony was that the train was punctual, for once. The next day's headline reported this chilling double tragedy. Authorities took note, alarmed at the recurrence. CCTV cameras appeared, along with an emergency brake button. But the general consensus labeled these incidents as tragic, yet random coincidences. I wasn't convinced. My instincts tingled with notions of the paranormal, fueled by the unnerving gaze of the businessman and the mysterious lack of motive behind the suicides. Determined to act, I enrolled in another course, this time in social psychology. Enrollment was a ruse, designed to keep my vigilant watch undetected. A discovery of my charade would risk another involuntary commitment, a risk I was willing to take. Equipped with binoculars, sunglasses, newspapers, and spare clothes, I found the perfect observational post, obscured from the CCTV cameras. Days passed in a monotonous haze, but I remained vigilant, driven by the dread that my inaction could cost lives. During the second week, a familiar face appeared on the platform. Andrew, a classmate. I was well hidden, nearly invisible, my newspaper serving as the perfect camouflage. His timing was odd. The next train wasn't due for another 15 minutes. He stood near the edge of the platform, a bewildering look of disorientation on his face. Alarmed, I abandoned my hidden position. "Hey, Andrew, how you doing?" I shouted. Silence. I approached, laying a hand on his shoulder. "Andrew? You okay there, buddy?" He turned to face me. His eyes were an abyss of black, and he wore a sinister grin. "Andrew, you there?" My voice quivered. He simply turned back, seemingly unaffected by my presence. 3 minutes until the next train. My stomach churned with nauseating dread. Desperation clawed at me. "Somebody help me. He's possessed," I screamed. "He's going to kill himself." Confused stares met my outburst. I lunged, landing a fist on Andrew's face. No reaction. 2 minutes. An emergency button, shielded by glass, beckoned from the wall. I smashed the glass and slammed the button.
"What the hell do you think you're doing?"
An angry commuter yelled. Andrew remained in his trance, edging closer to the platform's brink. I looked up to see the approaching train, its steel frame glinting menacingly in the sunlight. Closing in like an instrument of inevitable doom, Andrew teetered at the edge of the platform. "Andrew is suicidal," I shrieked, my voice piercing the dull murmur of the subway station. "You have to stop him." Several heads turned my direction, their faces etched with curiosity, yet tinged with caution. But it was too late. Andrew pivoted, casting me a final, cryptic smile. Then he plummeted, a human missile, onto the dark, electrified rails below. Later, in the sterile, dimly lit corridors of the police station, I learned a chilling fact. The emergency button on the platform had been a sham, a false beacon of safety. It was still in the process of being installed. Unusable. I was mired in a daze, the shock of the episode lingering like an aftertaste. I wanted nothing more than to retreat into the sanctuary of my home. But the police had other plans for me. They led me into a compact interrogation room, barren, except for a table and 2 chairs. An elderly officer greeted me, his uniform adorned with numerous commendations and badges that spoke of years in service. His gnarled hand reached for a recorder, which he solemnly placed at the center of the table.
"Mike, my name is Detective Hopkins."
His voice broke the silence.
"And I'll be interviewing you regarding Andrew's suicide. Are you in a state to answer questions?"
"Yes."
"What were you doing at the train station at that ungodly hour?"
I hesitated before confessing, "It sounds bizarre, but I was afraid. Afraid that more people would leap onto the tracks. I felt compelled to keep watch."
"What made you think such a thing?"
His brow furrowed, puzzled yet intrigued. "The incidents. They weren't ordinary," I stammered. Something about them reeked of the unnatural.
"Unnatural how?"
"The eyes, Detective. The eyes of the first victim were pitch black, as though possessed. Andrew's eyes, they were the same."
"I see."
He sighed, his expression unreadable.
"Have you ever been treated for mental health issues?"
"I'm not delusional. I saw what I saw."
"Answer the question."
"I spent a few weeks in a psychiatric ward 3 years ago, mania and depression. But I've been stable since I started medication."
"We have CCTV footage of you
Hopkins shifted gears.
screaming at Andrew, even striking him moments before his leap. Explain."
I panicked. I blurted out. He was in a daze. I needed to jolt him back to reality. Hopkins leaned back, his eyes narrowing as he stroked his grizzled chin. He clicked off the recorder.
"Look, kid.
He lowered his voice.
I shouldn't be telling you this, but your observations about the eyes and dazed behavior. Others have reported similar things. It's too uncanny to dismiss as mere coincidence."
"So, you think something supernatural is at play?"
"No, not supernatural,
He countered.
but something is amiss."
"Then, what?"
"I don't know. Yet."
He hesitated, weighing his words.
"Listen, the toxicology report for the first victim is pending. I've dispatched officers to patrol during rush hours. That's all I can do for now. And so can you. Your parents have been alerted. Get your alibi straight. You're free to go."
My parents arrived at the precinct, their faces masks of concern and relief. I lied, telling them I'd left my sweatshirt with some money at the university. They were empathetic, almost too eager to believe me. My university courses were suspended. Mom took time off work to comfort me. Comfort food filled our table. Frequent check-ins became the norm. I was home, but the trauma weighed heavily upon me like a shroud. I spent hours in front of my computer, feverishly refreshing the local news site. And then, at 4 p.m. on a dreary Friday, a bold blue headline seized my attention. Police arrest suspect in connection to Marlton train station suicides. My eyes darted across the screen, absorbing every word. A significant amount of the drugs Laurel found in victims causes hallucinations, detached behavior, and dilated pupils. Relief washed over me. They did it, I thought. They solved it. But questions, gnawing and incessant, still lingered. Updates remained elusive. I was in the middle of dinner preparations with Mom when the phone rang. It was Hopkins, asking me to return to the station. Mom drove me. I found myself in a witness room straight out of a crime thriller. Behind a one-way mirror stood several middle-aged men.
Ever drank pineapple juice?
Hopkins suddenly inquired. Pineapple juice? No. Why?
That's how he dosed them.
Hopkins explained.
Now, take a good look at this video. Recognize anyone?
My eyes narrowed. The man on the far right, a regular at the station, caught my attention. It's him, the guy on the right.
You're sure?
Absolutely. Days later, the news confirmed my identification. The man was found guilty, charged with 4 counts of homicide. Life imprisonment. No chance of parole. I still follow the case occasionally, but mostly, I'm just grateful it's over. Yet sometimes, late at night, I'm haunted by those eyes. Those abyssal, pitch black eyes. And I can't help but wonder, was it just the drug? Or was there something far more sinister at play? The question lingers, unanswered, in the depths of my mind, as chilling as the icy grip of a ghostly hand. And so the story remains, a tale unresolved, a riddle unsolved, and a horror unexplained. But one thing is for certain. I will never look at a vending machine or a glass of pineapple juice the same way again. Well, my friends, we've reached the end of tonight's chilling tale. People keep committing suicide at my local train station by a talented yet sadly unknown author. I hope you've enjoyed our descent into darkness and that you'll carry a piece of the Fear File Chronicles with you as you drift into uneasy dreams. If our story left you shivering and shaking, don't forget to like this video, share it with others who crave a good scare, and subscribe to the Fear File Chronicles for more haunting horrors. Remember to hit the bell notification so you're always among the first to know when a new nightmare awaits. As always, we appreciate your support and would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Sharing your fears and frights with us truly means a lot, so don't be shy to engage with our sinister community. Until next time, remember to embrace the darkness, for it is within the shadows that our most terrifying stories are born. Good night, and stay scared.